This was grown with no fertilizer, just Mother Nature doing her thing. And it's not hydroponics, just an experiment we're doing. I didn't even plant these tomatoes, they're just volunteer plants. And even in the 90-degree heat, temperatures near 100, and out in the sun, it's about 120, these guys were still setting fruit, and with barely any watering. Now, some people might call this cold composting, but there's a couple of big differences. I call this Mother Nature's graveyard. Now, it took us a couple of years, but this year, when we got ready to plant, we just put a couple of herbs and a few chard. Everything else is just volunteer plants. Now, the first year we did this, some squash sprouted up. So we just let it go. It grew around the shade house, and we got a lot of butternut squash off of it. It was awesome and free. So pretty much this is a 100-gallon Rubbermaid tote. And we initially filled it halfway with just topsoil. Cheap stuff, nothing in it. And over the years we've been tossing our vegetable scraps in here. Also, when you see us harvest all the microgreens and we don't eat the roots, and some people are saying that's a waste, this is where the waste is going. Then we don't mix it, we don't add a certain amount of brown and green, we don't check the temperature, we just let it be. Everything decomposes in layers. The worms and microbes do their business. And I pretty much don't do anything to this, except harvest my greens and herbs. See, man's been farming a long time. And way back before fertilizers and pesticides and all that, he had to look to nature, see how she was doing it. I think we've all lost sight of that. We just want to add some supplements, fertilizer, and call it organic gardening. I think organic's getting back to the way Mother Nature was doing it. So over the season we just let this continue to grow. Came in, harvested herbs, our seashell, whenever we wanted. And here's the only irrigation. 1/4-inch tubing, goes off 15 minutes twice a day. Now here's where we're different from composting too. This is where the water drains out. There's a hole in the bottom. These tubs have a drain. And it's catching humic acid, not compost tea. Now at first, I just had it open, so the worms came and went as they wanted. There's a little worm highway through the yard. But then I put this bucket here, like I said, to catch humic acid, so whenever I need, I just get a cup, dip down in that brown juice, and use it on other plants in the yard. It's all part of the permaculture experiment. Now it isn't compost tea because we didn't make compost. This is just layering of stuff, decomposing, nothing's mixed. Water is added to the top through the sprinkler. It drains down through it, and the microbes, the stuff in the living soil, and humic acid, all that good stuff, some of it filters out into this liquid. If you all have questions about that, look up Dr. Elaine Ingham. She talks about the living soil, the food web, and how all of this works. Now, she doesn't do a system like this. She does use compost. But it's kind of where I got this idea from. Kind of a mixture of all the stuff she talks about. Some of Paul Gauchi and Back to Eden. Nate from Garden Like a Viking. Korean natural farming. There's all kind of stuff out there. So if you want to try something different, don't go tearing up your whole backyard. Experiment in little spots like this. It's a lot more manageable. You figure out what works for you, and then you can scale it up as you see fit. And keep on growing.